And hi guys, it's Michelle, aka Shy. I play the Necromancer Nevara, also priorly known as Havela, the Goblin Barbarian. Hey guys, so all in total for playing D&D, I've played about 13 years, starting out with the papers, now into the 5e. Starting with this campaign, this will be 5 years in October, so I have 4 years with this crew. Honestly, when it comes to creating a character, I try to create something different, something I haven't played. I used to always do elves. They're my favorite race. Then I went down to the tieflings. Sorry. But anymore, I guess trying to figure out what I would want to suit with the campaign, but at the same time, what have I not done yet? So even if it's just a class and not a race, mine used to always either be ranger-like or rogue. So prior campaign was a ranger, then a sorcerer, and then a rogue. And this one was barbarian and wizard. Never played a wizard, let alone a freaking necromancer. So it's all about the experimentation, playing something new, learning about it, at the same time what race could benefit from it, and learning something new from said race. What can they get done, what can't they do? How do other people react to said character, and how can you interact with them? So I guess that's the best way I can sum that up. So, the similarities with my characters, well, my character, is, in a way, her sense of morality, what is right and what is wrong, and which it can be defined differently between people, but wanting to help others, making sure, people that you're around are okay, putting others before yourself. It's kind of where I built her. The difference is, though, obviously I'm not gonna carve up a person, and I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do any, of the dark side of what Nevara has done. But I don't know. I don't think there's too many differences other than just the fact of when you're in-game and you're trying to play a race or a class that they have properly, but the morality aspect is definitely the similarities. The opposites are with the necromancer, the gifts, the attributes, and what she may or may not have to do to get what she needs done. So my favorite character that I've played is actually not the ones you guys have met, but maybe in another campaign. Her name was Reina Volscara, and she was a tiefling arcane trickster. She was one of my versatile characters, so hopefully in the future you guys get to meet her, but of course she would be more of an NPC. But yeah, it's my favorite character. So, D&D is important to me because it's always been like a therapeutic thing, I guess. After hard days, the ins and the outs of work, whatever the stress has been, just putting that away for a little bit and you're somebody different, it takes you away for a little bit. It's sense, therapeutic. Why I like it, I guess, originally was just curiosity. I'm an avid gamer, but always hearing about it when I was younger, I was always curious. Until I got invited to play a game, and I instantly fell in love with it. I mean, it would have to go back to one of the prior questions. When Tuesdays come around, it's something I look forward to every day. When is the next day gonna be? How quick is the week gonna go to get to D&D? It's just being able to look forward to that. Looking forward to being around my friends, the next story, the next chapter, what's gonna happen, whether we're gonna lose a character, we're gonna gain a character. I don't think there's much really I can answer to that one. So, honestly, what drove me into this campaign with the DM we have, he was a haunt buddy. He worked at the haunted attraction that I worked at, and I heard he played D&D. I had been on... oh, what's the word? I haven't played D&D in a while. Hiatus, yes. Sorry. The voices were speaking to me, and it's a hiatus. But said, can I play? Do you guys need any more, people in this? Is it full? I got to play, and I got to sit in-game with the people I already knew, again, from the haunt that I work at, or at work. But what I will say that with this DM, compared to other ones I have had, there are home rules. With, even if it's a nat 20. I know some people may follow a variation of it, where it doubles the damage. The potions rule, where it's a bonus, it's not just an action. Same thing with talking, I believe. That is a bonus action as well, depending on how much you say. All in all, the imagination, the DM as a general, normally doesn't, some do just go by book until they learn it as their own. But what I did like about this is it wasn't just what's in the book is what we're doing. Things were pulled out of the imagination, we pulled things out of our imagination, and it ran wild one way or the other. I appreciate that, because it's not just set in stone, this is what you have to do, this is how it goes. It gives freedom. Freedom to the players, freedom to the characters. It helps the story progress. It helps not just for us to have fun, but I believe, especially with this campaign, we also give it a new life for you guys to see. So, I believe in that way it makes D&D more fun when it's not completely by the books. No pun intended. So I would have to think, even though we do crack a lot of jokes, when we do put our heads together and try to solve what we have to, which we are slowly doing, I think that's one of my favorites, is just getting to know that other player's character. Because we know the players, but we don't know the characters. So in a way, I think that would have to be it. It's more so getting to know the characters, like our characters getting to know each other. So I would have to say my favorite arc in this story, this campaign, would surprisingly probably be part of the Strahd arc itself, and that would be with Baba Lysaga, or aka Babushka. Just the overall, like, creepiness of it, but then again, this is supposed to be, like, a creepy campaign. But I liked how it went with that. We heard a wailing child, and of course some people are thinking it's a trap, where others are just gonna run, whether it's a trap or not, to save said child, whether it's there or not. The following of the children's toys to Null, who picked up what turned out to be a baby doll, thinking it was a child, like, oh, I'll play with this. And in her mind, she's thinking, I'm going to slowly get this baby out of this house, away from this witch, to where she was compelled and charmed to stay, sit, and play, and do nothing else. Till her, of course, death. Very ferociously, and a darker version of the Monsters Inc. when Boo sees Solly scream for the first time. But yeah, I definitely was intrigued by said story arc. So I would have to say it'd be Velaki. A lot of colorful people there. You have Noblinski. It's no fun if Noblinski. Which is where Nevara got her new puppet to torment Noella. And you have Isaac, who is, he in himself is an interesting character. They met Rictavo there. Danica and Erwin, who Havela had grown to respect, and Nevara continues to respect. The funny memories we have of Zior with the sanctuary I have fucked up. There were bad moments, obviously, but I enjoy the aspect of the difference in the town. That is why I would have to say it's definitely Vlaki. I would have to say it was when Havela got smushed up and turned into Null. My brain thinking and her brain thinking, kind of like we're the two peas in a pod. It would be kind of cool for a small ass little goblin to be a soul knife, because that's the character my character played. So throw a knife and this little green ball just goes over there. But instead, I got tricked and turned into a brain dead goblin who remembers nothing but still looks the same. So it led down to a roll, just keep rolling credits for violin music to continually play, and that's where it all started. So yeah, Frank, wherever you are, that sucked. So I have a toss-up with that. I think the funniest thing I've encountered was this campaign, and it's either when I was Havela trying to assist Zior. He had 2 mutagens, which is unfortunately the equivalent of overdosing, because he wanted to face off against Strahd, and having the kind of inkling that this wasn't going to be good for him, this little creature goes up and tries to help him throw up, and before I could, it's just all over this poor creature. Thus the thing comes to be as like a rolling joke with everyone now. Um, but I guess the toss up with that would have to be where we broke the DM, and that is Nevere the Necromancer, and the fact that she turned it into Carmine's Chop Shop. And the fact of breaking the DM, I think that's why it's a toss up with that. So, saddest moment would have to be prior campaign. Again, something that we will probably bring into the next half to kind of catch you guys up on what you missed, so you understand the important NPCs, so on. But the saddest moment I've experienced, at least, would be with my favorite character, and that would be Rue. So, the prior party had went to what seemed like a deserted town, and going to what I believe was a church. It ended up being a gem dragon, I believe. And we ended up going inside. Long story short, the dead rose. Aeserac showed up. Yay. And we ended up getting some backup. Rue's team included. We knew to go downstairs. There was a entrance to go elsewhere, and there was like gears, like a mechanical part for the door to shut it. The party had an idea: break the gears, the door would shut. There's no way to open it. We were safe. When they busted the gears, that would be with John and Pork Chop's characters, aka Pork Chop and Balverix. Once they did that, as the door slowly slides shut, they watched Rue fly across, hit a wall, door shuts. And all they can hear is a helpless Leonin scratching the door until it stops, while they're trying to figure how else to open the door to save a friend. Unfortunately, at that point, there was nothing they could do. Blood had started pooling under the door, and we had to leave. So, it was the most heartbreaking moment, I would have to say, we've seen in the campaigns. Favorite villain? I would think my favorite villain was actually a transitional character. And I would have to say it is Porkchop. Oddly enough to say, because he went from this Goliath barbarian, I'm gonna do the right thing, fight for the innocent, never be swayed by the bad guys, and then the flip happened, where he was extended a hand via Grievous. This is prior campaign, which, again, in the next half of this campaign, you may or may not get to meet him. So, party member essentially gets offered a hand to fight for Vecna. And if he does, he will spare him and his family. However, when you are called for whatever it is, no questions asked, they have a mission or a task for you, you have to do it, you can't disagree, or if you don't wish to do it, don't question, but don't step in. Porkchop took it, and he turned on his party. He agreed. He essentially got his wife killed by his new wife, and he said he did it for his family, but I would say, I mean, I get that. That's, again, why I find it that he is going to be a very interesting villain when you guys meet him. Because he didn't do it just because he's evil. He did it for the sake of what he thought was right for his family, keeping them safe until the end when his wife got killed. But, yeah. Favorite villain, Porkchop. if I had to pick a technical NPC, it'd probably be Rue. The way that the character developed with the last party. Side note, you may or may not meet Rue, however this campaign goes. He was a Leonin who is actually related, I think biologically? Non-biologically, to Zior. They were in Cholt. But, yeah. It's just the loyalty that the character had. He had his own redemption he had to go through, and he had his own demons. But the way the story could have gone to how it actually went, which is also, as I said in a prior answer, how the flow of stories go based off creativity, not only by DM but by players. The story actually started spinning a different way because of how the players interacted with some of the prior NPCs. And the way that happened is he went from being one of the possible bad guys to actually being a loyal friend and companion to the last crew. And one of my characters became one of his best friends. But just the story and the character development, I believe that would be the reason why he is my favorite NPC. So my favorite overall arc and playing this, whether it's this campaign or last, I would have to say would be last campaign in the Tomb of Annihilation. That was definitely trying. There was a lot of unfortunate mishaps, puzzles, and trust that had to be instilled in the characters. But I found it fascinating to see how you have to come together with puzzles, or it could bring one more or all down if they aren't done properly. So, yeah. I will not lie, there are some story arcs I don't completely know, but by the ones that I actually know, it would actually have to be the main three, and by that I mean the ones that seem to have like that family clique. Sibinak, definitely. The interesting one of being a creature that was not a Warforged originally, I believe. And a great war happened. Somehow he became the Warforged that he was. War had ended and he went into sentry mode and eventually shut down until Havela, pretty much on her deathbed, stumbles across him. And he raises this goblin orphan child to, without emotion, watching a robot mother hen and fret over a goblin child until another war happens and he fights with her by his side, their party, their troop, to evolve it to she's now protecting him. He's growing with emotion. He loses her multiple times to Noella, where I'm not sure if she told you her backstory yet. So that one I really can't explain until Porkchop says it, but it's heartbreaking to have to go through what Noella went through to kind of do the same in the end with Sibnak losing their child. And then the arc I built for Havela, where she was in a nomadic goblin tribe where they traded, they hunted, they fished, they didn't cause problems, they didn't try to hurt other creatures, to where I believe it was red wizards had attacked the camp, unsure why, to where everything was burned. She ran, she was half alive, to find a suit of armor sitting in the woods somewhere to hide behind, where it was Sibonec. It was a warforged. It wasn't just some tossed away, discarded armor. Sprung to life with new purpose and took down the two that had chased her and protected her from her life as a child to when she was an adult, to where I had already explained. So only knowing those full backstories, those are the ones I'd have to like. So, with this campaign, I'm actually going to do two, but I'm going to try and make it brief. This campaign, I want to see Nevara live. I will do my dangest to get her all the way through this campaign. I want her to prevail. I want her to see her son again. I'm going to attempt to have her more and more for the Raven Queen, which anyone else that follows the Raven Queen understands the Raven Queen outside of this campaign. For the viewers that understand her more, she is not as devout for a reason. So if anyone questions why she is the way she is slowly learning as she's following said patron. So by the end of this campaign, I want her to truly embody said Reaper. As for the next campaign, I definitely want to see where the story goes. Can't tell you guys too much until then. That's a secret. But you'll love it. You'll really, really love it. But for next campaign, it's more so for the players. I kind of want to see the reaction of what's to come for next campaign. Or the next half. Well, we've had predictions in our last Throwing Shades, and it didn't quite go to what many people thankfully predicted. There was some surprises, definitely. Predictions, I would definitely say that not all the party members are going to stay together. I see if the party members go back to the temple, that one, if not three, will accept gifts from these false gods. I see possibility of two dying, whether one or all get brought back, possibly infighting in the party, and loss outside of our party. People that we have come to know. I see, as they've mentioned, a calamity. I see a calamity happening where not everyone's going to make it out. And something to build from that, with whoever survives. I am hopeful, though, that obviously they get everything together, everything planned properly and accordingly, which in any aspect, game or otherwise, with war is not always going to happen, but I can at least hope that everyone makes it out. Alright guys, thank you so much. For those who already follow, like, and subscribe with us, thank you so much again. We love you guys. For those who don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe and share. What? My hair's new. No, it's not new. It's... Oh, it's blue. How'd that happen? That is so cool! Hey, also, if you want to see some more cool shit happen, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. Dun, dun, dun!